I have a major problem with the division that occurs because of division of language. At the Rose Bowl, when America was playing Mexico, and those that live in this country who have come here from Mexico boo the United States, there's a huge problem with that. This is not the first time that this has happened, and I think that is because in the United States, the cultural Marxist ideas of separating people into different racial groups.
I think you give this amnesty for 11 or 12 or 20 million illegal aliens in the United States, and I think that will just encourage a great third invasion of this country and the beginning of the end of the United States as one nation and one people. And I think the amnesty, that 5% that Rubio neglected to, who says that may not be right, the amnesty is what this is all about. I mean, the Democrats will give you many of the things you want if you just give them amnesty, because they can they can withdraw all the concessions they make after amnesty is taken care of. But once amnesty is taken care of, the illegal aliens, the 12 or 20 million, are not going back. And their children are coming to the United States, and their relatives are going to be coming to the United States, and you're going to get another massive invasion of the United States at a time when half the country is now getting federal checks.
And you warn about this in Suicide of a Superpower. Will America survive to 2025? You were out on the front lines before anybody talking about how dangerous this is. And Pat, two of the provisions of the bill I'd love for you to weigh in on. We had Betsy McCoy on yesterday. She's read the entire bill. She's gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, which is probably not the case for many of the senators on Capitol Hill. But this bill currently outsources the amnesty process from the Department of Homeland Security to community organizing groups. So you're going to have groups like La Raza and others. They're going to be the ones, I guess, putting the amnesty process in place. I suspect, of course, registering all of these immigrants as Democrats. And also, Pat Buchanan, this bill outsources the education of these immigrants on civics and history to these same community activist groups. It's Section 2531. So they can rewrite history with a partisan slant. No more rules any longer. No more American history. It's whatever the liberals want to be. So besides the fact we have all these immigrants coming in, everything that made our country great, the history, the way that we're educating the next generation will be gone, drastically changed.
Well, the first one you mentioned, where the community agencies or community service groups are going to decide on the amnesty and oversee it, that sounds like the Ollie in-free amendment. And that's exactly what it's going to be. With regard to the history and the teaching of it, this is one of the problems I've talked about. When you have a single culture, a single nation, you have basically a single culture. If you indoctrinate or teach kids different views about what their country was and how it began, what you get is a growing disintegration of the country, a fragmentation into different parts. And we see this happening all over the world in the last few decades, where ethnic groups and linguistic minorities and ethnic minorities, cultural minorities, given the pressures of ethno-nationalism, are breaking up countries all over the world. It's happening all over the Middle East. It happened in the Balkans, where Yugoslavia broke up into 7 countries. The Soviet Union broke up into 15 countries. You put, 100 million Hispanic folks in the United States and say 70 million of them on the southwest border, that becomes as much a part of Mexico as it is of the United States. If they have a different language, different culture, a different faith, basically you get two peoples, and two peoples eventually become two countries. This is what I see as the future of America, is the balkanization and disintegration of a country which had become one nation back around 1960, when all the immigrants who had come from Eastern and Southern Europe, 1890 to 1920, had been assimilated and Americanized. We'd all gone through the Depression together, heard radio together, went through World War II together, in American television. That brought us all together, and now we're coming apart.
Pat Buchanan, it's scary stuff. You predict it all in your book, Suicide of a Superpower, Will America Survive to 2025?